Hello, everybody. Hi. Can you guys see me? Hi. Hello, everybody. Can you guys see me? Sorry about the late start. Hello, everyone. Hi. Let's see. It says we have 2 people. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our channel. If you are live right now, can you type in the chat, hello, so that I know that this is working for sure. I think it is. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hi. Sorry about the late start. It took me a while to figure out how to actually do this. Thank you, Starry Night. Thank you. Glad you can see me. Again, sorry about the late start. So, I wanted to say hi to everybody. Welcome back. And before we start, how is everybody doing today? How is everyone? And welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everyone doing? And does anybody have any questions before we start? Hi, Britt, I can see you. Oh, good. Excellent. Great. Very good. I hope I'm clear. Excellent. Very, very good. Hello, 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 hello. Good, good. By the way, where is everybody that's watching right now? Where are you all? Right now, I am currently in New York. Where is everybody watching from? Thanks for doing. We're doing good. Thank you for asking, EVB. Thank you. We're doing good. We're doing good. So as you guys may have noticed, Joe is not here with me. He is out doing something and hopefully he will join us. But in the meantime, you guys are stuck with me. So, long time no see. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a really long, I know it feels like a long time. And that's actually what we're going to talk about today. Where have we been? What have we been up to? And all that stuff. So obviously, like I mentioned, we're not in Mexico right now. We're in New York. And so we drove back. So going to Mexico, it took us 4 days. We went from New York to San Luis Potosi. And on the 4th day, we got to San Luis Potosi. This past time, and we crossed over McAllen-Reynosa border. Coming back into the U.S., however, we chose to go a different way, and that was due to safety. So it took us longer. So we actually crossed at Eagle Pass because we heard that that was pretty safe. So we crossed at the Piedras Negras Eagle Pass border, and then we drove back to New York. So like I mentioned, we went out of the way. Eagle Pass is more like west, whereas coming we went through the McAllen-Reynosa, which is more east. So as you can imagine, and also even when we were coming out getting to Piedras Negras, we went a bit of a longer way because we didn't want to go through Zacatecas for safety. So we went a different way, and we went through the Matawala area, and we were fine. But again, the issue of safety does come up. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about, how our drive was, and why did we decide to sell our vehicle. So, like I mentioned, those of you who are just joining in, welcome. Happy to have you all. Feel free to leave a comment or whatever, and I'll see it. What was our experience like when we came back, driving back to New York. Well, uh, I'll be honest, I was a bit nervous and I guess you could say a bit scared coming back. Um, so even though we went the safer, I put safer because both ways are, you know, they can be dangerous. So the safer route back, and so what ended up happening is we obviously got back safely. I will say this though, it was pretty well. When we were in the state of Coahuila, we did have the National Guard. I don't know, like a checkpoint. We were almost by the border, and they just pulled us over to the side. They made us get out of the vehicle, and they just searched the car, but they didn't take like everything out. They actually didn't really take anything out. They were just like searching the trunk, searching, you know, the car a little bit, but it wasn't bad really. It wasn't like, you know, so, but they were nice. Trying to remember, I don't think they really spoke English. So that was an experience. By the way, before we go on, has anybody, when they've driven through Mexico, has anyone ever had their car searched? Leave a comment. Comment if you have. Have any of you that's been to Mexico ever had your vehicle searched and actually been told to get out of the car? That was a bit nerve-wracking, actually. But everything went well. Everything was fine. You know, that's one of the things that happens to you when you drive in Mexico. You know, we haven't had that in all the states that we've been to. Yeah, it was a bit, yeah, I was nervous, especially since we, you know, we had all the stuff in the car, and, you know, we don't really speak Spanish, and, you know, it can be very, very frightening. Now, we've had this happen in Michoacan quite a bit. It didn't happen a lot in all the states. I don't think it actually happened in San Luis Potosi when we were there at all. Trying to think, in Guadalajara, I don't think we ever were pulled over. But that leads me into our next topic is why do we sell the car? Before we move on to that topic, does anybody want to share an experience that they've had when crossing a border or driving in Mexico, being searched, or any of that before we move on to why do we actually sell the car? EVB says that happened to me when I crossed the border into Canada. Oh, wow. So, oh, how was that experience, EVB? Were you scared? What did they do? Did they make you get out of the car? So actually, while EVB is getting back to us, that reminds me, when we were crossing the border, they actually, into the U.S., coming back in, they made us get out of the vehicle. They actually sent a dog, I think it was like a German Shepherd, into the car multiple times. It's almost like they wanted to find something. It was really weird. It wasn't just like once. It was like at least twice, 2 or 3 times. And they kept having him search the car. And, of course, I didn't find anything bad. So, but took a while. And we were sitting there. When we were coming into Mexico on the way coming in, we got the red light, and so we had to pull over that time, and the immigration people there didn't speak English, so, but anyway, we had to get out of the car, even coming into Mexico, but it was, I would say, I think it was quicker than coming back into the U.S. We had to leave the car and searched everything. Oh, that stinks. Wow. I hope they put everything back where it belongs. I think it's normal, but you can't help but feel nervous. Yeah, it is. Like, people are touching your stuff. That always feels weird when people are touching, you know, your things. You don't know what to, like, are they going to put it back? Or are they going to leave the zipper open? Or, you know, it's awkward. By the way, hello, everybody, and welcome to everyone that's coming in. If anybody wants to say, where are you coming from? Have you ever been to Mexico? Have you ever had your car searched? EVB commented about at the border in Canada. Has anybody had that happen in Mexico? Leave a comment in Mexico. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I should add. When we were driving, I believe, okay, so I'm trying to remember what happened. When we were coming back into Mexico, into the United States, for some reason it made us go through Michoacan. I didn't even know that because I checked the route, but anyway, and I do believe that they told us to pull over, and they just checked stuff, but they didn't really like take anything out or make us get out of the vehicle, which is good. Yeah, so that was fine. Nothing, it's fine. But what I wanted to talk to everybody here today, let me see. What I wanted to talk to everybody here today about was, why did we decide to sell the car? So there's actually some reasons that I wrote out. And no, it wasn't because we're not permanent residents, so it's not because of that. And the reason why we did it was because we're still temporary residents, so we wouldn't be able to keep the car forever. When you become a permanent resident, let me see. You need to take your foreign plated car back, your U.S. plated car. I can't speak about other countries. I'm not those countries from the U.S. So we would be able to keep it for about 3 years if we had kept the car. But eventually I would have to drive the car back anyway. The number two reason why we decided to sell the car was because I didn't want to have to keep driving the car back to the U.S. for the inspection every year. That would be really frustrating, especially since, we're coming from a state like New York, which is far. It's not like we're, a closer state, It's New York. It's far. And so you'd be wondering, well, why didn't you just get South Dakota plates? Because that's what a lot of people do. They get the South Dakota plates. You don't have to worry about the inspection every year. Well, if we got the South Dakota plates, number one, I still would have only been able to keep it for about 3 years anyway. Number two, if I had got the South Dakota license plates, we would still have to pay for the registration every year. So I'm still paying money every year for the South Dakota plates. And, who wants to do that? And number four is, and this is an important one that I think people should realize, is Starry Night, I see your question, but I'm just gonna finish this before I forget. Number four was, we were not able to nationalize our car. Not all cars, in fact, I would say most cars, U.S. cars, don't meet the requirements for nationalizing it. Our VIN number did not start with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's and so we couldn't nationalize it. Now there's other things along with that, which I'm not really going to get into because I'm not an expert on nationalizing the car. If you want to check out Kira Paul's video, he did a video about actually going through steps a while ago. I'm not sure if it's still accurate, but he did a video covering it. But so yeah, we didn't qualify for nationalizing it, which means that I could not just say, Mexican license plates and everything would be fine. No, I couldn't do that. So number 5 is actually, I'm going to switch to I'll make this number 5. This is a big one. We are tired of getting pulled over by the police for having foreign plates and having the car searched. If you've watched our YouTube videos, you've seen that we've been pulled over. Now, most of the time, I will say, yeah, it's Michoacan, especially Morelia. Um, and, not a lot of foreigners in Michoacan. So maybe that's why. It's also not one of the safest states to be in, just being honest with you all. So maybe that's another reason why there's for safety. I won't, those are just a couple of reasons why. So, didn't want to deal with that. Now, some people, they get the plates, they get the South Dakota ones, they don't care about it. But for us, it was so stressful. It's like, oh, am I going to get pulled over today? Do I have my tip paperwork ready? So, yeah. So we get tired of that happening. So, and also, you don't stand out. When you have a U.S. plated car, you stand out. Now, another reason was we plan on making our life easier and using the money for selling the car to buying a car in Mexico. So that's really our goal, is to buy a car in Mexico, I should say, with Mexican plates. And, well, that'd just be better. We're not going to look like we're, foreigners, right? We won't be sticking out as much, I should say, at least with the car, we'll be sticking out. And so, just long story short, it's easier. Starry Night said, how long have you been in Mexico now? Have you been in Mexico now? So we've been in Mexico. We left for Mexico in January. It was the end of January. And so we came back in the beginning of September. So from end of January to beginning of September, what's that? So February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So almost 8 months. Is that almost 8 months? I'm not very good at math. So, and then, yeah, so I guess it's just best to, EBB says, I guess it's just best to buy a car in Mexico. Yeah, it's just better. Now, you may be wondering, okay, so then why didn't you just sell your car before you came to Mexico in January? Well, the reason why we didn't do that is because, well, I was actually looking into, like renting a car. And to rent a car in Mexico, it's the same cost as buying a car pretty much. So you might as well just buy a car in Mexico. And at that time, we didn't have a house or anything there. So it's like, why, we weren't really sure about what we were doing. But now that we have a place, we're going to go ahead and, renewed our temporary residency, and we got all that stuff, then yeah, we're going to go back to Mexico and get a Mexican plated car and do it like that. Now, a downside about that is that cars, at least now in 2023, now I don't know if this will ever change or not, but at least in 2023, it is more expensive to buy a car in Mexico. It just is. It's one of the things that's more expensive in Mexico. I know a lot of people think like, oh, you go to Mexico and everything's cheaper. That's not true. Not everything is cheaper. In fact, some things you would be surprised by the number of things that aren't cheaper. That's one of them. And another thing to know is that you may say, well, why didn't you just sell the car in Mexico? Because we were not legally allowed to sell the car in Mexico. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying that no one should bring a foreign plated car, a U.S. plated car to Mexico. Like, let's just say you want to scope out the area. Maybe you're thinking about visiting, but you're not really sure if Mexico's for you. You may want to bring your car only because, do you want to sell your car and then take a chance and buy a car and then it's like you have this headache of it just may be easier just to bring the car. Maybe you come from a closer state than New York, driving to Mexico. Maybe you're from Texas or one of those states, but if it's just a hassle, really. It really is a hassle. Getting the temporary import permit is just stressful. Having your paperwork, getting it, and then it is stressful. So if someone doesn't want to bring their car to Mexico, I totally get it. I totally understand. If you just want to fly into Mexico, I get that too. Like, it's just, you know, and that's what we want to really do is we do plan on visiting the US and we want to just fly back to Mexico. We don't want to drive back to Mexico. We don't want to spend 4 or 5 days driving back. Okay, that's a lot. It was, it's almost 3,000 miles. That's huge, depending on, of course, what part of Mexico you're coming from. So, there's that. Does anybody in the comments have any questions? Hello, Inglés fácil y rápido. Hello, amazing to be here. Hello, welcome. So happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Thank you. So, does anybody have any questions or any experiences? I know EBB shared about going to Canada. Any experience about driving maybe in Mexico? Maybe a good experience, maybe a bad experience, or maybe some tips. Maybe they want to share to help people who are to be aware of when driving the car. Skip, hi, hello. Mexico driving is nuts. Yes, it can be. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really, we will be putting out a video very soon about driving in Mexico versus driving in the US. So stay tuned for that, everybody. That will be coming out soon. That will be a regular like long form content video, not a short, not a live. So look out for that. One difference is this. Okay. And you say they'll curse at you. Okay. Who will curse at you? Can you explain? Who's going to curse at you? The police? Are we talking about the police right now? In Mexico, they'll honk at you if they want to say hello. Well, thank you for sharing. The people driving curse at you. I'll be honest, that can also happen in Mexico. I've actually been flipped off before driving in Guadalajara, and that was like really weird because yeah, that was really rude of the person to do. And I mean, but I'm gonna be honest with all of you guys. I know everybody's gonna have good experience. Everyone's gonna have a different experience, right? We're all different. We're all gonna have different ones. So I can honestly say that the police that we have met in Mexico have been very kind to us. I know someone on the channel had watched one of our videos and was trying to translate what one of the officers said, and they said that they were asking, I guess, for money, but we never heard that before. We never heard that they were asking for money or anything, so I don't know if that's really the case or not, but so as far as we know, we've experienced, unless he heard something, I'm not sure why, but we've never heard them say, like, give us money or things like that. Maybe he did say it, but if he did, he didn't push it. So, I mean, it's been fine. They've been courteous. They've been polite to us, the police in Mexico. They've actually helped us before getting to where we needed to go, which is really kind. Maybe they're just checking on us to make sure we weren't bad, but either way, they're really kind. They're doing their job, right? So, people driving curse at you in the U.S. Other drivers are more likely to have a head-on collision in Mexico on the highway. Yeah, especially when we were driving in San Luis Potosí, it was pretty scary. I know a lot of people say that like Guadalajara is like terrible driving. I mean, we're coming from a place like New York City. My husband and I, we've lived in New York City. At least I've lived here for a couple of years, and my husband's from New York City. So we've driven in New York City, and honestly, in our personal experience, everybody's different. Like I say, we both think that the driving in San Luis Potosí is worse than Guadalajara driving. That's just our experience that we personally have noticed. Now, everybody is different. They're going to have a different opinion. Maybe you have your opinion about which city is really stressful to drive in. But yeah, you can have a head-on collision in Mexico. EVB says, I'm glad so far you've had a positive driving experience in Mexico. Thank you so much. I'm really happy too, because we've been in, you know, it can be frightening when, you know, you get stopped by the police or things like that. But yeah, it's definitely different, very different. Thank you, Inglés Fácil y Rápido and Starry Night and EVB for sharing your thoughts on here. Does anybody have any questions? Any other questions? And actually, you guys are in for a special treat. Joe is back. Woo!
Oh, man.
He's getting settled in right now.
I wish you didn't build me up so much. Hey, what's up, everybody? I don't know who's on, but hi. Sorry I couldn't be over here for the entire live. Man, so how'd everything go? Did Brittany give you guys good information? Hey, Skip, what's going on? What's going on? Good to see you. How's the live going? Good?
If you can drive in Manhattan, you can drive anywhere.
That's the truth.
Because driving in big cities is generally more hectic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Mexico or the US, they're both hectic when you drive in big cities. That's true.
Hey guys, I'm sure Brittany told you all. I don't even know how many people are on, but I'm sure Brittany told you guys why we've been so busy. Thanks, Evie B. Thank you. Happy to be here. Very happy to be here. So sorry that we've been oh.
Hello, new subscriber.
Thank you. Thanks for subscribing. Happy to have you here.
Hi, S.
Yeah, so sorry that we've been so busy lately, but hopefully we'll get on the channel with some more videos soon. Life's just been crazy. I don't know if you told them.
So what have we been up to? You maybe wondering, Brit's do. Oh, thank you.
Oh, good. Excellent.
So I was telling them about our experience driving back. We got back on the 5th day, and about how we got stopped in Coahuila, and how about in Michoacan before that. They didn't make us get out of the car. They just were looking at our something,
Right.
was it license or something?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Oh, we get a lot of hellos.
Hola. Happy to have everybody here.
So what have we been up to lately?
Oh, so lately we've just been, we came back to the United States to see family. And unfortunately, as soon as we came back, a lot of the people that we know had a lot of issues as far as we have health problems here, we have other problems here. And so we've been really trying to balance our lives, but it hasn't been happening. All we've been doing since we got back is work. And so we can't put our energy towards YouTube, unfortunately, even though, man, we wish we could. But we do have some videos that we're going to be trying to edit and get out. It's just been so rough lately. So I'm sorry about all the, we felt like, I feel, I'm sure Brittany does too, that we've kind of been letting you guys down as far as the channel, but we're not going anywhere. We plan on keep making videos, and, we'll have some more videos out soon, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. Are there any videos that you guys would like to see in particular coming from us? If so, leave a comment.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. Buenitas, tarditas, amiguitas.
That's cute.
Thank you, Inglés Fácil y Rápido. Gracias.
I'm going to come to you if I need to learn English.
English.
Very good to see everybody. So what did you guys talk about?
We talked about how long it took for us to drive back and our experience, and about the 7 reasons, why we decided to sell the car.
All right.
Spider-Man climbing buildings. I want to see Spider-Man climbing buildings.
Yeah, Spider-Man. That's over in our hood. Spider-Man. Forget it. Good stuff. Yeah, I wish I saw Spider-Man climbing buildings.
Yeah. I wish I could support you guys with a monetary donation, but I don't have any.
Oh, thank you so much. It's very sweet. It's the thought that counts. Thank you so much for offering to support the channel. We really appreciate it. Lately, we don't deserve any support because we haven't been able to be on, but we do appreciate it. It is a tough job. Anybody will tell you who's on YouTube, it's a tough job. Oh man. But yeah, so I hope Brittany treated you guys good with all the information. Did you get through your whole checklist?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was fast. You've
Yeah.
only been on for about 30 minutes.
I know.
That's great.
Tougher than beef jerky.
Yeah.
Woo! Yes, 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 yes.
Thank you so much for even thinking about giving us anything other than your support, of course. Thank you.
So, as you mentioned, what have we been up to? Well, we've been selling things, a lot of things. We sold the car, sold gym stuff, and selling a lot of things. Yeah, we've been dealing with. No worries, you're doing your best, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Starry Night. Yeah, so we sold the car. Yeah, like Brittany told you, we sold the car. I gotta say, driving in the United States, it does just feel a lot better. It really does. It feels a lot better. It feels more comfortable. That's one of the things you guys know if you watch our videos often that I really don't like it in the United States, right? I feel like most of the time more free in Mexico. I really do. But driving, however, that's one thing that I could do without if I needed to. You know, if I could change something about Mexico, I think driving would be the change that I would say. Amongst maybe like less than a handful of other things. Because you just don't feel as comfortable. And most of the time when you're talking to the Mexican people, they're the best, but you just hear stories, right? You hear stories that you have to be extra careful and stuff like that.
I would definitely also like to see a blog about what it is like to live in the United States. Skip, where are you coming from? What country?
Oh, I'll be right back.
Okay. Skip, what country are you from? Thank you for sharing.
Well, Skip's in Mexico, I think. Yeah.
Oh, Skip is from You're Mexican?
If I remember correctly.
Are you from Mexico, Skip? Everybody, please let us know also what country or what state or where you are in the world. Thank you. Let us all know. Let's see. Hi, I'm a potato. Hello, potato. Welcome. I'm a Michoacan, Mexico.
There you go.
Woo! Okay. What's it called? Michoacan.
Remember,
What's that?
Skip's been attending our lives since we
Yeah.
started doing lives.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know he's from Michoacan. I forgot.
Yeah.
Skip, great idea, Skip. I agree. If I had already told you that I lived in Mazatlan, remember? Oh, did you move from Mazatlan to Michoacan, Skip?
I remember.
Oh, wait, no, that's somebody else. Wait, English with Steel Rapido said he's from Michoacan. They're from Michoacan. And Skip said, if I had already told you that I lived in Mazatlan. Okay.
Yeah, you did tell us.
Sorry.
Brittany just forgot.
Sorry, Skip. I had a senior moment.
That's how long it's been since we've been on the YouTube
Near
channel.
to Malacone. Oh, that's great. How are you today? We are doing good.
That's how long it's been since we've been here. It's okay, you can stay there. I'll kind of like.
So yeah, we could do a video about that. And of course, life in the U.S. compared to Mexico is of course going to be different based on, you know, where in the U.S. are you from? Are you from New York City? Are you from Tennessee? It's going to be totally different. Just to give an example of what state you're coming from. And also, yeah, for example, I grew up in upstate New York. That's very different than New York City. So even within the same state, it can be very different.
Yeah.
Just to give you some differences, who asked about that, Skip? Yeah, Skip, just to give you some differences about what they are, very quickly. Rent is more expensive. That's, rent is more, cost of buying a house is more. You get less for your money when you're buying houses. Also, utilities are more money in the U.S.
That's really cool,
Yeah.
Skip, that you want to see what it would be like to live here.
Yes. Yes.
Over here in the United States, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if we had more time, we would have been doing that already. But it doesn't mean that we can't still do it. I would love to still do it.
Pay more for less. Yes.
Yeah. It also feels like the people, they're not as friendly here. So like in Mexico, at least to us, right? I mean, I remember I mean, some guy, he gave me a huge hug, and I didn't even know him, and he was like, "Welcome to my country," in Mexico, right? And that was in Tlaquepaque. But over here, you'd never get that. You would never get somebody like, "Welcome to my country." Like, to get a hello, at least in New York, you need to like try to even get a hello. You know what I mean? The people in the United States are different. And again, like Brittany said, everywhere in the United States is going to be a little different, but as a majority, I think a lot of the people are less warm.
I mean, I also think so depends on. Think it depends on where you are. For example, if you go more south, people I think are more warmer than here in the north side of the United States. Um, so we're not saying that everybody's cold in the United States or anything like that. Of course, especially if you go to a place like New York City, for example, um, people are known to be cold, for example, compared to maybe other places in the U.S. So, hi, Junebug.
Hi, June. Hi, Junebug.
18. Hello, welcome.
Welcome. Yeah. New York City is definitely not one of the friendliest places for sure. I'm like,
It's also like one of the most expensive places too.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's very, very expensive. Very expensive here.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And like Ingles mentioned earlier, very little for your money. So it's sad. It's really sad that people have to, live like this, but that's the way people have to live.
By the way, February is approaching, which would be the best month to visit Mazatlan because of the weather and the festivities that are celebrated here, such as the carnival and the fireworks show. Oh, thank you, Skip, for are you inviting us to February to visit you?
He's telling everybody.
Oh.
Elizabeth Martinez. Hey guys, I live in a town called La Piedad. Get out of here, Elizabeth. Do we know you? It's affordable and the weather is very good. I think people are nice too for the most part. We visited La Piedad. Let me tell you, Elizabeth, I love La Piedad. Why do I love La Piedad? Everybody is friendly. So many people spoke English to us. We love. Well, I don't think Brittany liked it too much. I loved La Piedad.
The food is great.
The food in La Piedad. The people in La Piedad.
The part called Ciudad del Sol is, I think we were there. It's very nice.
Yeah, we were around. I don't remember all the areas.
Yeah.
But man, I really do love La Piedad.
No, don't go to La Piedad. It's a terrible place. You really wouldn't want to go there. Inglés fácil y rápido. See, Turco. Am I saying that right? It's real that in New York isn't that cool as social media shows. You know what's funny is that the way that things are shown on social media, it's always seemed things are usually made to seem better than how they are. I'm not saying New York City's not a cool place. I think it's a very cool place, but there's a lot that they don't show you on social media.
Yeah, there's a lot they don't show you. There's a lot of on social. I don't know. It depends on the social media you're following. But in the United States, I keep always saying the United States. In New York specifically, there's a lot of homeless people, a lot of drug addicts. Right now, there's the migrant crisis, right? So you have tons of migrants filling hotels and, in the streets. And it's really like a sad thing. Like the mayor of New York the other day said, oh, New York will never be the same again. And that's because of the migrant crisis. And the guy exaggerates all the time, so you can't really take him seriously, in my opinion. But it is true that New York is kind of like a dump, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion.
I think that there's nice parts to New York, but there's parts that you also may not want to go to it. Inglés Fácil Rápido said, except for the social media videos regarding the rats in New York, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, in New York, right on the screen, Inglés dropped the magic words over here. Rats, drugs, and hobos. Straight up. Straight up. Brittany and I were walking through Manhattan for one of our anniversaries not long ago. Well, this was before we left to come to Mexico. And we got spit on by some random person. Both of us got spit on. It was disgusting. And all I was thinking was, I can't wait to get the heck out of here and go over to Mexico. That's all I was thinking. And we were in a good area. We weren't in a bad area. We were in a very, very good area of Manhattan.
Also mobs of kids that jump onto your cars.
Yes. We just saw it the other day. We were driving through Manhattan. It's so sad. We were driving through Manhattan, and all these kids started jumping up onto people's cars because they were surrounding two other people who were fighting, and they had their phones out. It's disgusting. It I don't you can tell I don't like it here, right? I don't want to be here. I was like, let's go back to the United States for like a month just to see family. And Brittany's like, no, I want to, be there longer. And I'm like, oh man,
Well,
here
we're
we go.
getting things done over here.
Yeah, we are getting things done. We're from, I don't know how to pronounce your name.
Zeturco?
Zeturco?
Zeturco? Are you from Mexico? Zeturco? Zeturco?
I can imagine that sounding Mexican.
Is that Mexican?
Zeturco. Zeturco.
Hola.
I don't know. But hello, yes, where are we from? We're from New York, the United States. I'm from the city. Brittany is from upstate New York. Sorry about the camera, by the way. We have it, we have to keep changing the angles because of what we're using.
How's the water right now?
The water?
So there was a flood that happened a few days ago. If that's what you're asking about. And we're fine. The weather. Oh, the weather.
Oh, the weather.
The weather. Oh.
It's pretty
good. Yeah. Like, for example, in the U.S., you can get away with drinking the tap water. It's not really like, as in Mexico, it's like most people are like, no, no, no. Oh, sorry, the weather. Sorry. Never mind about the water. The weather. Never mind.
We can tell you about the water. We don't
the water
drink,
or the
we don't drink the tap water here either.
Tap water is delicious in New York. Yeah, I guess it depends on where in New York you are also.
It does, because you're upstate New York, the tap water tastes like disgusting. It tastes like it's sulfur.
Yeah, but it's funny because when I go to my friend's house, their water tasted much better than mine, so they lived like 2 blocks away.
That's weird.
It's weird. I don't know. It depends on where you are.
Yeah.
Free COVID vaccine in the New York City water.
Yeah. They want you to take it over here. Forget it. Let me tell you something. Don't even get me started. New York, everybody's like, oh, New York's great. New York's great. New York locked people out of work, I'm sure other places too, for not getting vaccinated. New York prevented you from having a job if you didn't want to get vaccinated. Out of their friggin' minds over here, let me tell you. I can't stand the politics.
Not everyone in USA though. Cali tap water is unsafe for human consumption.
Not everyone in USA though. Cali tap water. Yeah, okay,
Thank you
good.
for sharing.
Thank you so much for sharing that California's tap water is not safe for human consumption. Thank you for that. Because so many people get on Mexico like, oh, you can't drink the water, you can't drink the water. Of course, it depends on the area of Mexico, and it depends on where your water comes from. We drink the water in Mexico, we filter it.
Yeah, we have that clay thing.
Yeah, we have a filter. We drink it.
Filtro.
But I don't even drink the water in New York. I don't drink the water from the tap. Never.
I apologize if I said that wrong about the tap water. Yeah, because some water does have like sulfur in it.
Yeah.
So that's not really good. Bonafont, baby.
Bonafont, yeah. Yeah. You know the water, the company in Mexico?
Bonafont? Oh, that's the orange one
the
with
orange
the white labels.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've never my whole life drank the tap water here. The weather, however, because originally Skip was asking about the weather here right now is very, very good. I'm shocked at how good it is. We just kind of got over a little heat wave, though.
I don't trust any tap water. One weak link in the plumbing is all it takes. Bring water all day if possible. Peace and Weather Seeker, thank you for commenting. Where are you coming from? You don't trust the Mexican water or the U.S. water?
Any tap water.
Or any water.
Any tap
Anyone
water.
in the world? Any water?
Man.
I don't know about Europe. Is Europe the same? Anybody know? Water?
Yeah.
Is it the same there?
I don't know. I know in certain states in the United States you can set the tap water on fire. Have you guys seen that? Because they do drilling, and because of the drilling, gas escapes and comes out of people's taps, which is wild.
Poland Spring.
Poland Spring, no doubt.
My grandma loves Poland Spring.
Yeah, I don't trust any tap water. I don't drink it.
We use the pH machine.
Yeah.
Any tap water after working in construction, many new construction taps it to very old clay and contaminated lines.
See? It's crazy.
Wait, don't we use clay for our water in Mexico?
You got to filter it.
Oh.
You got to filter any water you drink.
Yes,
I'm from Mexico. I wish someday to go to a giant building and see everything from
Aw.
there. Go to Mexico City.
Woo!
Got some giant buildings over there.
Moved from San Diego to Yucatan.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you moved to the Yucatan. Did you go to Merida? Where are you?
See the name, Peace and Wealth Seeker. See the peace part is
Uh-huh.
moving to Mexico. That's the
Oh.
peace.
And Wealth Seeker.
Well, I'm making that up.
Is that a Spider-Man emoji? I mean, Spider-Man.
I don't
can't
know.
see that. Is that Spider-Man?
Man, I miss Mexico. I miss Mexico so much. I don't want to be here.
So we have people from Michoacan, Mazatlan. Did you bring your filter from New York, or did you get it to?
Elizabeth, we got a filter when we were in Mexico City. It's called Eco Filtro, and they have their main building in Mexico City. I do believe that the product itself originally comes from
Colombia?
Colombia. I think it's Colombia.
That's in saving currently. I haven't moved yet.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, gotcha.
Where do you want it? You want to move to the Yucatan? Is that your plan? Peace and Wealth Seeker? So going over. I'm sorry. Was it?
No. Go ahead.
But in New York, the buildings are just dope. That they're everywhere.
But in New York, the buildings are just dope. They're everywhere. I think it's cool. I think New York would be such a beautiful place if it wasn't for the nasty people and also the politics. But the politics all over the world suck. You know what I mean? For the most part. But the politics in New York are very bad. They're very bad. So I don't know. I don't like being here. I don't feel like when I go to Mexico, I feel a lot freer. I feel like, let me give you an example, right? I'm over here right now and I'm looking for a gym, okay? Because we're only going to be here for 3 months out of the year or something. That's what we anticipate. Every once in a while, we'll come over to New York. Every once in a while, we'll be in Mexico. So I got rid of my gym here, my home gym, sold it. I'm looking for a gym over here. All the gyms around here, they don't take cash, or if they take cash, they require a credit card in order to open a gym membership, right?
But no fingerprint.
No fingerprint, right? But so the point that I'm trying to get at is the reason why they want your credit card is so they can continue to charge you up until you go out of your way to write a letter to them, to find their manager and whatever. The point is that the gyms around here, it's in the comments of the reviews of the gym that if you give them your credit card, they will continue to charge you and charge you and charge you until you're tapped out, until you cancel your credit card, which is completely illegal and disgusting. In Mexico, you can just pay with cash and they don't take your information, nothing like that. I've been to plenty of gyms in Mexico. You just give the money and then you have your gym. So that's one of the things I don't like here. You know, one of the many things. So I just hate being here.
But I think New York City is a great city. I mean, the thing about New York City, though, is that when people think of it, they think of first of all, people say New York, and they automatically think New York City. But more specifically, they think of Manhattan.
Right.
And more specifically, they really focus on are like the tourist areas. And so, but it's so much more. New York is so much more than just Manhattan. It's so much more. And so, like, for example, yeah, in Queens, there's not really tall buildings that much, right? There's some tall buildings, but they're not all tall, right? I think
Right.
this arm right here, it's for Carrie Bonifaz.
Yeah, no doubt, Skip, no doubt. Straight with the filtered water always. Peace and Wealth Seeker, back to calisthenics while in New York. Yeah. I'm not happy about it. The fact that I can't just go to a gym. I asked the guy at one of the gyms today. I said, "Can I pay you in cash?" He said, "Sure, you could pay me in cash, but I need to take your credit card too." What, are you kidding me? This is what we got to deal with here. You go to Mexico and all of a sudden life just gets nicer. We drove the whole time, right? And even though you're driving through Mexico, you kind of feel a little bit uncomfortable because it's like, you know, Mexico has a reputation for danger on the roads. But even though I'm driving through Mexico and I feel a little bit uncomfortable, I get back into the United States, we get back into Jersey, we get back into New York, all of a sudden I feel like I can't breathe. And I feel like I got arms strangling me. Because you feel the tension in the air here. Especially me, who I grew up here. So I feel confined here. I feel like I can't breathe here. The stress comes back. You go to Mexico, that plane lands, all of a sudden you feel like, wow, I can breathe. All like the weight comes off your shoulders, at least with me and a lot of other Americans and Canadians or whatever who've, you know, been to Mexico. A lot of people feel the same way. So it is what it is.
Here's what maybe we should do a video about what we don't miss about Mexico, what we miss.
Okay, yeah, that'd be a great video. That'd be a great video. And on the next live, we're not going to be moving the camera around. We'll have it on the computer. We've been such a mess lately, guys. So sorry about that. We've been such a mess. So much stress, so much going on, and we're both very tired, and so we don't have our camera set up, nothing set up. But the next live, it'll be a lot better. It'll be nice and neat and clean, and you'll be able to see us both on one screen and all that stuff.
California from Pennsylvania at 25. We couldn't rent cars or hotel because we never had credit cards. That's how they forced it on us.
Right.
What about Las Vegas? I've never been to Las Vegas, have you?
I've been to Las Vegas, yeah. But, I mean, I didn't spend too much time there. Thanks, Skip. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. I've been to Las Vegas, and Vegas was nice. It's a desert. And, it's cool. You know, it's fine. It's good for what it is. But I can't tell you too much about it because I didn't spend too much time in Las Vegas.
Maybe one day we'll go. I know someone out there.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll go visit her.
Yeah, sure. Maybe one day we can check out Las Vegas or something like that. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We really planned on showing you guys a lot of New York. We did. So Skip, you know, stay tuned. You know, we'll get you some footage. But we really did plan on showing you guys stuff, but we've just been so tired and so like exhausted, and we've had no time really. But yeah, sure. Whatever trips we go on,
Aw,
no problem.
thank you.
Whatever trips we go on, we'll bring you guys. We'll bring the camera and we'll do some videos. I know Brittany's really looking forward to that. Because Brittany loves the United States and she loves New York, and that's great. That's fine. That's cool. I don't. Brittany does. You know, I can give you the bad and she can give you the good. You know what I mean? So that's what it's about.
Does anybody have any questions before we end this live stream?
Yeah, let us know, guys. You got any other thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, anything?
So while you're all thinking of the questions, in summary, should you bring your car to Mexico? Well, that depends on you. That's your decision.
Elizabeth, it's understandable that you've been tired and at the same time busy. Thanks, Elizabeth. We appreciate it. We really do appreciate it. Yeah. It's been bad. It's been pretty bad, I gotta say. Unfortunately, between the health problems that people have and everything else, it's been pretty bad.
Any food that you guys missed in the U.S. I just came in. Why are you guys in the New
So let's start off with Skip. Skip asks, any food that you guys miss in the USA? Yes. I missed when we were in Mexico, I missed the specialized vegan restaurants. Now don't get me wrong, Mexico, as you might know, Skip, has many vegan restaurants, and I love that. But over here in the United States, in New York specifically, you got Italian vegan restaurants, you got Mexican vegan restaurants, you got Thai vegan restaurants, you got Chinese vegan restaurants. Something I missed from the United States, Chinese food. Let me tell you, because we've been throughout Mexico, and if there is a Chinese restaurant, it's not the same. It is not, and they don't got any vegan food for me. They don't have vegetable dumplings, vegan noodles. They don't have anything like that for me.
I tried a Chinese place and the only one I think I tried in La Paz, and it was not good.
It wasn't good,
it was
right?
Like, what is this? No.
Maybe in Mexico City. They might have some
Yeah.
very decent Chinese food.
I
But
had a gyro in Mexico City. That was not
it
like the
wasn't.
gyro that I was used to here.
Well, I mean, it is Mexico.
It was. But it
So,
was Mexico City. I don't know. Maybe it's
did
just
it
that kind.
taste good?
It was okay.
It was okay.
But yeah, the food in New York City. You know, it's funny. People ask me, "What do I like about Mexico?" I'll say the food and the people. What do I like about the U.S. especially? I like the food also.
But not the people
and some people,
necessarily.
I like some people, but
The pizza in Mexico has been very good, I have to say.
Mhm.
I have to say.
Yeah.
It's been a good experience with the pizza.
Yeah. I just came in. Why are you guys in New York?
So, Bulk 37 asks, I just can't, you got to read it out loud so people.
I just came in. Why are you guys in New York? So we're in New York. We sold our car, and
we came back
yeah,
to visit family, to
Mhm.
sell our car, and to sell all our worldly possessions
Mhm.
so that we can take that money and go back to Mexico with it. Because we got a ton of junk here that we don't need, and we're just like, why don't we sell it? And mostly here for family on a family trip. To visit our family. But while we're here, we're tying up loose ends.
Tijuana and CDMX have fame of having good Chinese food. Good to know.
Thanks, Skip.
We went through the Chinatown in Mexico City, but we didn't get to eat the food there. We hope to do that next time. Yes, even the tonal.
Yes, sold the tonal. Honestly, I was gonna do a video about it. I was gonna do a video like selling my tonal, how to uninstall it, and this and that. And I was like, you know what? Honestly, there's been so little support on that channel for like the last I don't know how many videos. I was like, I'm not even gonna bother doing it, honestly.
You're an girl. Did you get your tip back? Did you get your
Julie,
tip back?
did you get you're an girl? Yeah, I guess so.
I guess so, cause it's a little awkward being on a live. Sometimes you don't know how to.
Yeah, I say even
all
when
the
I'm
time.
talking to anybody.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's been a long did you get your
tip back? We didn't.
Well, our deposit back.
Yeah.
Okay, so here let's explain. Let's talk about reason I bought the tonal.
So let me just say to Bulk, I wanted to cry when I got rid of the machine. For anybody who doesn't know, Bulk is talking about a tonal. That's a piece of gym equipment. And it goes on your wall. It's your home gym, right? But I figured, let me sell it because we're only going to be in the United States for like 3 months out of a year. What's the reason to have it if I'm not going to be here to use it? And I remember I've made plenty of videos on my bodybuilding channel talking about, well, if you're not going to be around the machine, there's no reason to have it. So I had to take my own advice. Bulk, I hope you're enjoying the tonal. I didn't want to get rid of it. And now that I find out that all these gyms, you need to actually physically give them a credit card that they never cancel your membership with, now I'm really regretting having gotten rid of it. But the fact is that we're going to be in Mexico. And since we're in Mexico, I'll use the gyms in Mexico. And I also have Expedience. Expedience is sending me a Expedience machine in Mexico. So stay tuned on the channel for that, so I can show you guys what the Expedience is like in case anybody's interested in that. But I'm glad I was the reason you bought that machine. It's an amazing machine. I personally would never get rid of it unless I had to, like in this circumstance. If we were staying in the United States, I would have kept that thing till it broke.
Let's get back to the tip part. Was I gonna say?
Yeah, go for it.
So let's talk about the tip.
Let's talk about
did we get the tip back? Let's discuss what we happened in case you haven't seen our videos. If you have, check them out. Long story short, we got the tip to come into Mexico. Now, tip stands for temporary import permit. If you are not driving in the free zone, if you're not sure what the free zone is, you can look that up. I don't want to give the wrong information, but it's pretty much the Bajas and the near the border area. So, the Bajas in Mexico, Baja California and Baja California Sur, I believe it, part of free zone and part near the border, and somewhere else too. So if you want to look up the free zone, look that up. But if you're driving into, let's say, the middle of, Mexico, Michoacan, Querétaro, Durango, you go into any of those kind of states, San Luis Potosí, states like that are not in the free zone, you need a temporary import permit, a tip, to drive your car into Mexico, your foreign plated vehicle. And that can also be stressful to get. Did we get our deposit back? As of right now, no, we did not get the deposit back. Will we ever get it back? I don't know. I would like to get it back, but right now we haven't. I guess there was something that they didn't tell us at the office when we were by the border. We were supposed to go somewhere. We weren't told that in Texas when we were coming in. They were supposed to tell us something. We never got told that. We didn't know. So we never let it expire though. We kept it. We even extended it for 3 years. And so, even though we obviously sold the car, so we extended it for 3 years, which is free, by the way. It doesn't cost money to actually do that part, to extend your tip. But when you drive back, when you're canceling it, I believe they say you can get a deposit back, but we never got that back. So no, to answer your question. Durango, Skip, yes.
And 2 travelers in Mexico, they didn't get theirs back either, they said.
Yeah, so, yeah, that stinks. Yeah. It is very stressful. I'm gonna be honest with all of you guys. Like I've said, it's very stressful to import your car into Mexico. It's not simple. It's not like, okay, I got this tip now I'm good for I'm good forever. No, it's not. You need to extend it. And you have to go find an aduana. If you're not sure about all that, check out our video that we put out about that, about extending the tip. We explained what we did, where we went. They didn't even have an aduana in Morelia. We had to go to Querétaro. They don't have them in all of Mexico even. So you have to go drive to the aduana, and then yeah, it's a bit stressful. So, but we did it because, like I said, when we were looking at cars, it was cheaper to bring the car than to rent the car. And if you're though, I would be honest, if you guys are planning, like for example, let's say you're planning on moving to a place like Mexico City, do you need a car there? No, but in a lot of parts of Mexico, I would say you do need a car for a lot of it. Most parts of Mexico, you would need a car. You they do have Ubers and taxis and combis, but it's gonna be a little bit stressful, especially if you're not from that area.
Something I wanted to say, and I'm going to do a specific video on this at some point in time. Almost retired in Mexico. Almost retired in Mexico. Oh, well, yeah, No Bull. Ernie's channel, No Bull. I think it's almost retired in Mexico, No Bull, right? In full. He saved our butts, right? So I'm going to do a specific video about this. But I just want to say that when you guys, if you're temporary, or if you're, we'll put it like this. We're temporary. So if you're temporary, make sure that if you're driving out of Mexico, right? I'm not talking about the plane. I'm talking about driving. Make sure when you leave, you stop off at the aduana, at the immigration office and the aduana to get your passport stamped. So originally, we started to drive. We drove through some tolls, right? So to leave Mexico, it's so funny. You got to pay a toll to leave Mexico.
Yeah.
So many tolls when you're driving through Mexico. And they're very expensive. But to leave, they hit you with one last toll. So we're driving through Mexico, hit that toll, and then all of a sudden we see the U.S. and we see immigration over in the U.S. I was like, wait a minute. We can't keep going because we didn't go to immigration in Mexico to get our passport stamped. I&M. And if you don't go to I&M when you're on a plane, before you leave and you're temporary, you can lose your temporary resident status. We did a video on this, so check that out. You have to get your passport stamped when you come back in or when you leave. That's how Mexico keeps track of you, okay? They need to keep track of you if you're temporary. And Brittany was like, nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No, you don't need to get it done. I even asked one of the guys at I&M, do you need to get it done? The guy who worked there on the Mexican side at I&M. Do I need to get this stamp before I leave? Will it affect my temporary residency status? I even told him when you're on the plane, they force you to get that thing stamped, or you could get in trouble. And he said, no, don't worry about it. You don't need to do it. I was like, I don't believe this. So I called Ernie, and I asked Ernie from Retired Life in Mexico, no bull, and he told us that no, you're supposed to get it stamped. The right way to do it is get it stamped, and if not, you can get in some kind of a jam later on. So I was like, oh man, thank you, Ernie. Thank you so much. Ernie's channel, guys, I don't know if you watch Retired Life in Mexico, No Bull with Ernie.
Retired Mexico.
Oh, I said retired. Almost.
Retired.
I said almost retired. Sorry. It's Retired Life in Mexico. So many Mexico channels, right? Retired Life in Mexico, No Bull. I don't know if you guys watch Ernie. His channel is so valuable. So valuable. I mean, he does not get enough credit for his channel. Incredible information. Fantastic human being. I mean, he picked up the phone for us. You know what I mean? Call him up. He actually picks up. Gave us free advice. Amazing advice. Such a good guy. If you haven't checked out Retired Life in Mexico, check him out. He's so good. But yeah, so if you're temporary, make sure you get your passport stamped when you leave Mexico, whether it's on a plane or in a car. And when you come back, get it stamped. They're not going to tell you. You have to know. They're not going to tell you. They don't even know their own procedures. So don't get yourself in a jam. You have to get it stamped. Okay? Very important.
We missed out some comments.
We missed some comments, so we'll back up a little bit.
What do you think about the infrastructure in Mexico City?
I thought it was great.
It was great. Well, I will say this. I think Bellas Artes is beautiful. It's like a palace, right? Gorgeous. The castle in Chapultepec Park. Wow. What architecture that was. Infrastructure, wow. Well, the architecture too. I think the way it was designed. Is it the same? I don't know the same thing. But anyway, they were really cool looking buildings. Put it like that.
Infrastructure.
Water,
gas.
Oh, that's what you meant. Sorry, infrastructure, water and gas. Oh, that's another story.
Piping, streets.
Oh.
All that stuff.
Infrastructure in Mexico City. Infrastructure. I mean, we didn't live in Mexico City. We were only there for like a week, right?
Yeah, so our experience.
Our experience is pretty limited about infrastructure. But the internet worked. the water worked. Yeah, it was pretty regular. Sorry guys, haven't been to Combo since I was talking to my dad. No pasa nada. I know all those channels. Okay. I wish I had a successful YouTube channel like you guys and like Ernie's channel. Aw, thank you. I have watched all his videos and many other YouTubers. For infrastructure have to do with streets too. So the streets in Mexico City were really, I think they were pretty great shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty great. It's a very clean city. Maybe wasn't a question for a citizen from New York City. Yeah. How would you say that compares to New York City, the infrastructure?
What? The infrastructure? How does the infrastructure of Mexico City compare to New York City? So, like Brittany mentioned, we weren't in Mexico City for so long, but everywhere that we were was great. We had no issues. There was no issues with water, no issues with our gas, electric. The streets were great. Everybody, I did a video on this too. It is so clean in Mexico City. Okay, now I'm not saying all the areas. I'm not saying every part of it's clean, because I know there's always people out there who's going to see this video and be like, it's dirty. Yeah, it might, but whatever. I'm comparing it to New York. Okay, I'm talking about Brooklyn, Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens. I'm comparing Mexico City to those places. It is ridiculously clean in like 95 or more % of Mexico City. Ridiculously clean. The people are so much nicer, in my opinion, right? And the infrastructure was fantastic. The roads were good. The one thing that I found was that the pollution was worse in Mexico City than in New York City. The pollution was much worse. My eyes were burning. Brittany was fine, but my eyes were burning. I felt it in my chest. Felt like I smoked 3 packs of cigarettes just on one
Joe's
car
very
ride.
sensitive.
But everything else was, in my opinion, status quo or better when compared New York City to Mexico City from our limited experience. Everything was the same or better. That's it. Way cleaner. You walk through Manhattan, you got these disgusting streets, garbage smelling all over the place, nasty. I didn't experience any of that over in Mexico City. And the construction. I just want to say we saw a lot of construction, meaning they were doing repairs. When you see construction, they're doing repairs. We saw a lot of construction in Mexico City. The construction was very, very orderly. It wasn't like a mess, like horrible, terrible construction, terrible. Even the traffic in Mexico City was not anywhere near as bad as New York City. So everything was status quo or better, in my opinion.
And I wanted to also say that we do plan, we're discussing about doing a video in New York City, Manhattan, specifically maybe. I think we're discussing that, about comparing that to Mexico City.
Yeah, we were talking about maybe taking a walk through New York City, go through Manhattan or whatever, maybe Brooklyn or something like that, Queens, showing you guys around those areas and comparing them to Mexico. Because it is quite different. I like Mexico better, of course, but, I'm biased because I'm Mexican. You cut me open and I'm bleeding red, white, and green, you know what I mean?
All right, so let's see, we have ring from Amu Goli. Welcome to the channel live stream. Priscilla Rosso, welcome.
Yes, welcome to everybody who's here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the kind comments and the kind support on the channel. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Does anybody have any questions before we go?
Yeah, you guys got any other thoughts, questions? Did we hit all the comments? Or did we miss any? Inglés Fácil y Rápido says, I wish I had a successful YouTube channel like you guys and like Ernie's channel. Inglés, keep plugging at it. It takes a while. And I just want to say something. There's a lot of good channels out there that don't get enough. Like Ernie's channel, for example. He should have way more followers than he does, in my opinion. Because he has quality, well thought out content. And would I say he has a successful channel? I would. The reason why is because he's giving good information. You might not have too many people on your channel right now. And you may never. I don't know. But if you're doing what you love on there and you're helping to change people's lives and you're doing the best you can and you're happy, I think it's already successful. That's my opinion. Of course, we all want more subscribers and we want to be able to make money on here and be able to help people and stuff like that. But if it's not what you imagine success to be, don't forget that if you're happy and you're enjoying it and you're helping people, that's success in my opinion. So I hope you're doing that.
Great. I'm proud of my efforts and my video editing skills. That's awesome.
Excellent, excellent. We're gonna make sure to subscribe on there.
I can't find. I'm looking. I can't find.
We're gonna find your channel and we're gonna subscribe on there.
Fácil y Rápido.
If anybody else wants to learn how to speak English, and go ahead.
No. I'm having a hard time finding your channel, Inglés Fácil y Rápido. Can you tell me the name of your video so I can look it up?
Anybody else who wants to learn, make sure you click on that channel.
Because I'm a nobody. No, that's not true.
Keep doing it. You'll get there.
Does anybody have anything else that they would like to add before we leave this live stream? I agree about Ernie, and also share your thoughts about a successful channel in general.
Good.
Seguro que no de la...
Okay, cool.
Is that the name of the channel?
I'm going to take a picture of it.
Seguro.
And we're going to find it.
Seguro que no...
Got it.
Es de escuela de gobierno, las clases. Let's see if we find that.
Look.
Nope. I am not amigazo, not a government something. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions before we end this live stream?
All right, you guys. I think it's time for us to head out.
Bye.
Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. We really appreciate it. Don't worry, Ingles. Your channel is going to go somewhere. Keep doing what you're doing. And thank you all for the support on our channel. We do appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take it easy, guys.
Muchachito.